man. It is really a joy. It's a pleasure. It's always my honor being out here, well connected with nature and bringing to you this message of emancipation, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. And that's why I want to discuss with you today how to unlock your invisible power. And many people do not know that they have an invisible power and that they can use this power to achieve their every desire, much less to unlock this power. So the very first point I want to show you to help you to unlock this power is that you have to look first of all at your belief system and how you arrive at your belief system. In other words, what I'm saying to you, the first thing that you have to look at is your birth. In terms of you were born here in a state of forgetfulness or a state of amnesia, and everything that you would have learned from a very young age, most likely it was taught to you by your parents first of all. So there are certain things that you're going to inherit from your parents. And based on what you were taught from that young stage, from when you been expressed here up to the age of 7 or 8, that can mean what your adult life can be like based on what was impressed upon your subconscious mind from that very young age. So you have to go way back to the time you've been expressed here and see what you were taught, what your belief system was like, and you must change it. So you have to go to the very root. So you must learn that we all have been born here in what they refer to as sin and shaping iniquity, and know that sin is ignorance, and that there's only one fundamental sin in this world, and the only fundamental sin in this world is not knowing who you are. So we are here to find ourselves. So you go right back to your birth and change what was fed to you from there. Okay? So you have to make that the first priority. So in other words, I am saying to you that you have to start with self. Realizing that there's no one else to change but self. And when you start to change yourself, you will see that the world before you start to change as you change yourself. So the next thing that you must know if you must operate in your invisible self is that you are a thought evolved being, because everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And your parents, before they were involved in the act of sex, they first had a thought, they first had an idea, which they expressed that thought or that idea in the form of having physical sex to express you here. So, the ancestor of all creation is thought. Therefore, you must learn how the mind works if you're going to operate in your invisible self. So, when you come into the knowing that you're a thought evolved being, and you recognizing that everything was first a thought, everything was first an idea, everything was first mental, everything was first psychological, it will bring you to the point of understanding how important it is to understand and know the law of mentalism, and how important it is to take charge of your mind and being in control of your mind. So you have to be in control of your mind if you want to operate in your invisible self. Now, when you realize that you are a spirit having a human experience, then you would realize that the spirit world is the invisible world. It is the world of thoughts. It is the world whereby you dwell in your psychological self And your brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency, because your thoughts are thought frequencies that are going out into a wall or a field of possibilities. Okay? And the reason why it is going out into a wall, a field of possibilities, it is because you have tapped in to the inner field, which is the invisible field, first of all, and you would have already appropriated it. And because you have already appropriated what you want or what you desire, you send it out into the ether, it's going to return back to you as you sow. So as you sow, so shall you reap. So once you understand that principle, you'll be able to operate from your higher self, which is your invisible self. Therefore, you're unlocking all of the potentials that are in you. You're unlocking your creativity. You're unlocking your ability. You're unlocking your genius power that is locked up within you. Also, when you take responsibility for your thoughts and your actions, knowing that it is your own thoughts that is creating everything in your life, then you'll be able to operate from your invisible self by way of practicing meditation, visualization, affirmation, scripting, journaling, mirror work, and all of these things that you do. You're doing these things to exercise your mind and to tap in to your invisible self. So unless you do these things, you'll not be able to unlock your invisible power. So what I'm saying to you, my brother and my sisters, you have a power inside of you that you can use to create your life how you want it to be. To create your perfect economy. Because your real economy is inwardly. Therefore, stop looking on the outside and stop allowing the things that are happening on the outside to direct your life. Those things are the effects. But remember, you are the cause. And everything is based on cause and effect. And that is why if you want to operate in your higher self or your invisible self, in order to unlock your full potential, you have to know that everything works by law. And that there are laws that govern the universe and laws that govern humanity. And that you are governed by those laws. And you must walk with those laws. You must align yourself with those laws. And a good way to understand those laws and walk with those laws is to look at nature and see that nature walks with those laws. And nature is always in purpose. Look at the sun, for example. You see the sun always rise in purpose. And the sun always set in purpose. And so you must get yourself in full alignment in order to unlock all the power and the greatness that is inside of you. But the main point I want to get across to you is that you have an invisible self. Your true self is invisible. Your real self is your God self. For God in man is man's imagination. And the eternal body of man is the imagination. That is God himself. Therefore, operate in your God self by understanding that you were born here in a state of amnesia. And now you have found the truth of who you are. And you have realized that all your life you've been searching for yourself, which is your higher self. And so, if you change your mind, you will change your life. So, change your mindset and your world will change. That's what it means when you say, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So, my brother, my sister, you can renew your life and have your life how you want it to be if you would take my advice and unlock that creative power that is within you. Unlock your superpower. Unlock your creative self. unlock your God self, because you're the one who been keeping yourself locked down. You're the one who been keeping yourself in limitation, and you're the one who have to unlock it, because everything begins with self. And as I said before, there's no one to change but self. Everything is within. Therefore, I always teach you to look inwardly and to realize that your real identity is your divinity. That's why I always say to you, you have to learn to interpret the Bible psychologically and not literal or a secular history, because the Bible is all have to do with the human psyche. It's all a great psychological drama. So with that being said, my brother and my sisters, I want to thank you very much, and I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and what I'm saying is making sense to you, it's really resonating with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. Also, if you haven't followed me on Instagram already, I'm encouraging you to follow me on Instagram at BlackMadGuru. And also, I'm encouraging you to check out my Patreon, where I have some good teaching there for you. And for those who are donating at least $20 or more, we have a course there for you called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously, whereby we are living in a time where they want to dim the sun and they want to block out the sun. But you're told that the Lord thy God is a sun, a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing with he withhold from you. And also you're told that the sun, the S-U-N, yes, of righteousness shall arise. Where? Within you, with what? Healing in his wings. That's why I'm saying to you, you can heal yourself. And you can do it by going inwardly and changing your reality. So if there's any other way that you would like to support, also we have a PayPal and the link is down below. Feel free to check it out. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.